The government presented a budget. They signed it. They clapped. They took photographs. And then, absolutely nothing happened. So where did the money go? Where is the money? This is exactly the question Senator Aminu Tambuwal, former governor of Sokoto State and one of the most senior figures in the ADC, put on the table last Saturday at the African Democratic Congress in Sokoto. And my brothers and sisters, he did not come to play. He came with fire. According to Politics Nigeria report dated April 12, 2026, Tambuwal directly alleged gross mismanagement and diversion of public resources, warning that such funds could be used to influence voters ahead of the 2027 general elections. He said, and I quote, "This is in addition to the gross mismanagement and diversion of public resources, as well as securing of more loans which undoubtedly will be deployed during the 2027 elections to influence voters." Read that again. He's not talking about 1 naira here or 1 naira there. He is alleging systematic, coordinated diversion of public resources, money appropriated for the Nigerian people, allegedly being stockpiled to buy votes in 2027. If that doesn't break your heart, I don't know what else will. Now let's put numbers to this pain, because numbers don't lie, even when politicians do. The Punch newspaper, in its stinging editorial titled, "Where is the 2027 budget?" laid it all bare. The 2023 supplementary, 2024 and 2025 budgets are running concurrently, with the 2024 budget implementation extended twice until December 2025, and the 2025 capital component still untouched. The number of unexecuted capital projects now exceeds 17 trillion. Critical infrastructure, roads, power, healthcare, education, underfunded or simply abandoned. Can you even imagine that figure? That is not a rounding error. That is not an administrative delay. That is a catastrophic, systematic failure to deliver on promises made to over 220 million people. And it gets worse. The Punch again reported that despite 107 trillion appropriated since 2023, only 20%, translating to 4.9 trillion of the 2025 capital budget, was spent by mid-year. They collected 107 trillion from the system. They spent barely a fraction on you, on roads, on your children, on your future. The rest, according to Tambuwal's allegation, diverted, gone, and now they want to come back in 2027. Show your face on posters, spray a little cash at the gate of the polling unit, and call that democracy. Vanguard newspaper quoted Tambuwal warning that the ruling party was already preparing to deploy financial resources to influence voters ahead of 2027, urging Nigerians against trading their future for short-term inducements. He said, and I quote, "They plan to deploy resources during the campaigns to buy votes," he said. But Nigerians must ask themselves if they are ready to sell their future and mortgage the destiny of the next generation. That is not just a political statement. That is a man looking you dead in the eyes and saying, the money they will flash at your door in 2027 is your money. Money that should have built your road. Money that should have equipped your hospitals. Money that should have paid your teacher. They took it, they sat on it, and they will bring it back wrapped in party colors and call it a gift. Now, is Tambuwal the only voice raising this alarm? Absolutely not. The opposition choir has been singing this song from every direction. Former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, one of the ADC's pillar ahead of 2027, dissected the budget failure with the precision of a surgeon. According to the Daily Post, Atiku stated that the 2024 budget's underperformance signals poor budget execution, and that by Q3 of the fiscal year, less than 35% of the allocated capital expenditure for MDAs has been disbursed. Despite the government claims of 85% budget execution, 85% claim, 35% actual. You do the mathematics, someone is lying. And if someone is lying about execution, what are they saying about where the rest of the money went? Peterobi, the man who mobilized millions of young Nigerians in 2023, now firmly planted in the ADC opposition bloc, was sounding the alarm even earlier. According to Within Nigeria, Obi stated that the 2024 budget was replete with inconsequential items, including 15.3 billion for National Assembly Library and 10 billion for car parks and recreational center, while critical teaching hospitals across the country received a fraction of those amounts. He wrote, "Allocating our scarce resources to high priority areas of need is essential for the well-being of the nation. They allocated billions for their own comfort, while your children's teaching hospital was left to rot. Let that sink in. And what does the independent analysis say? The IMF, in its 2024 Article 4 consultation on Nigeria, delivered a verdict that should have been front page news across the country. According to the Punch editorial, the IMF noted that Nigeria's budgets suffer from unrealistic revenue assumptions and poor executions, leading to the implementation rate below 50% for capital votes. Below 50%. Half of what is supposed to be done for Nigeria is not being done. And meanwhile, the national debt has ballooned to 152 trillion as of June 2025, up from 97 trillion in Q4 of 2023. They are borrowing more, implementing less, and you are paying more in fuel, in electricity, in food, in everything. Tambuwal also turned the heat on the political manipulation of democratic institutions themselves. Vanguard quoted him saying he presented himself as a Democrat, but he is acting as a pseudo-Democrat. There are clear efforts to muzzle the opposition and influence key institutions, including the judiciary. Think about what he's saying. He's saying they are not just stealing money, they are building a system, weakening courts, pressuring institutions, destabilizing opposition, so that by 2027, when it's time to answer for the 107 trillion they produced almost nothing. There will be no credible voice left to ask the question. Governors are already rushing to the APC, and Tambuwal is direct about why. He said, "Today, many governors are rushing to join the APC, not because things are getting better, but because they believe the 2027 result will be written in favor of the party." But here is where things get interesting. Tambuwal, Atiku, Peterobi, and Kwankwaso, four of the most powerful opposition voices in Nigeria, are now for the first time in a very long time under the same political roof. The trio of Atiku, Obi, and Kwankwaso recently participated in joint Occupy ANEC rally under the ADC banner, signaling a formidable unified front aimed at challenging the APC's dominance. This is the convergence that the Tinubu feared. This is the coalition that the 2023 election fractured, but 2027 may forge. And Tambuwal is not just a spectator. he declared plainly, we will retire the APC in 2027 at both the national level and the Sokoto state. Nigerians should join the ADC to realize this vision. The question now is not whether the accusations are serious, they are deadly serious, backed by independent data. IMF assessments, civil society audits, and the lived reality of every Nigerian who has been waiting for that road to be fixed, that hospital to be equipped, that school to receive funding. The question is whether Nigerians will do what needs to be done in 2027. Because if they use your unimplemented budget money to buy your vote and you sell it, then the looting cycle begins again. And the next time, the numbers will even be bigger. Tambuwal told the crowd in Sokoto, Nigerians have seen how the federal government has been desperate in their attempt to suppress opposition. But we are standing firm. No shaking, no surrender, no retreat. Nigerians must come out to rescue their country from the bad governance of the APC come 2027. No shaking, no surrender, no retreat. Nigeria, where is your money? More importantly, what are you going to do about it? Stay locked in this channel. Like, share, subscribe if you have not, and drop in the comments. Do you believe the budgets were implemented, or do you believe Tambuwal? Let that debate begin.